The Movies of the Meek, where we watch made-for-TV movies and miniseries so you don't have to. From Gia to Xenon, Hysteria to Sybil, welcome to Movies of the Meek.
Zach, what is this movie about?
This movie is about a group of 5 friends. But they weren't always friends. They were once just 5 hoodlums in detention. Or as the chalkboard said, Dee-Tin-Shun.
Wait, really?
Yeah, if you noticed,
I did not know.
Tommy picked that one up. It's spelled out on the board like phonetically, but it's not like how you see it on like Wikipedia. It was like Dee-Tin, Shun, Detention. Like the 5 kids who got detention that week had to know how to say detention for some reason.
Okay, keep going.
So 5 hoodlums, they get in trouble. They meet in detention, and they realize they all can play music and sing very well, and they decide to start a band. That's it in a nutshell, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree. So I've seen this movie like 15 times. Like, I'm being 100% serious. Like, I was thinking about it, and like I listened to this soundtrack like easily 3 times a week.
No, I remember.
And
like,
then,
still?
Like, still. And, like, I still, like, every now and then, I'll be like, you know, it's a fucking great movie, like Lemonade Mouth.
I remember.
And I will rewatch it.
Years ago, you would just talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
out of nowhere.
I love this movie with, like, an unbridled passion.
I was a little nervous doing this one first because you're such a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
But I just told you something you didn't know, which is surprising.
And that was so the main thing was, like, as I was watching it again, you know, I wanted to take notes, but at the same time I was like, you've seen this movie more than 10 times, you really shouldn't have to take notes. But the one thing that I noticed, like, immediately, like, in just terms of, like, weird, I guess, choices that they made is during the scene when they're all in detention for the first time and, like, the ceiling is leaking and there's all these weird noises that are happening. They pick, like, really weird, like, steady cam, like, Dutch angles to, like, go in on the teacher's face. Like, she's like, oh, and literally, like, they shoot it like it's a horror movie for, like, 2 shots, and it makes no sense.
And then it just goes into a musical.
And then, well, I mean, that's, like, they have to start off in detention, and then they're like, well, that's not really the way the story's told. Which is, alright, so part of me wants to read the book. If you did not know, Lemonade Mouth is a book, and the only reason that I know that is because for Christmas, I was given the sequel book. Okay, there's a sequel book, and I was given that as a Christmas gift, and I tried reading it, and I could only get 2 chapters in, because the part of the plot is that the character Wen, which I thought was dumb at first, and then thought about his name's Wendell, Wen, so everything's written in, like, first-person perspective, and so it's like, this is what happened to me today. Okay. Wendell writes all of his chapters in script form, and it's the most annoying thing in the entire planet.
So was this written after the movie, or was this written, and the movie was based on the book?
Both of the books were written before the movie came out. Yeah, the movie.
But was it written because the movie was coming out, or was it written?
No, like, the movie's based on a book series. Okay. Yeah, and then they never got to make the movies. Wait, no, they never got to make a second movie,
which is disappointing because I thought they set it up for a sequel. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'll say, so the one thing that I was thinking about, just like as I was writing notes, like when we talked about doing this like a year ago, I wrote like really crazy, overly analyzing this movie notes. But one of those things does kind of stay true, which is that I was like, it's kind of weird that, like, the acts are broken up by going to a pizza place. like when Act 2 ends, it's them at a pizza place. Like when Act 1 ends, it's them at the pizza place. And like the real moments of contention in this story are at the stupid pizza place, which is also like in terms of like your 3-act structure, like the second act is when you're supposed to have like the real like punishing moment for your heroes, and it's just that they get sick.
Well, like... not all of them. Some of them hurt their fingers. One hurts his eye. No, they all come back. There's that one, that montage. It's not a montage. It's the scene. It's back to back. The one kid, Wen, hurts his eye.
Yeah.
The drummer hurts his fingers.
Yeah, he slams them in a shelf.
For no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to fall because they were at the top of their game.
Yeah.
They had to fall somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so that happens, and they're at the pizza place.
Yeah.
And like the one bitch is just coughing.
Yeah.
And the drummer is like has his arm in a sling. And everyone's laughing at them because they can't play their songs, even though a day earlier they were the hottest shit in the school.
So let's all right. Mudslide Crush is there, and they're mocking them. Mudslide Crush is the rival band.
I could not remember the name of that band.
Now, Mudslide Crush is the band that's based off of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and is absolutely incredible.
First thing that popped in my head.
Now, the one thing that I will say that's interesting about the movie is that the movie is basically about a fight between sports and the arts, which I think is interesting.
That's what I thought too.
Because the jocks have a band. That's fucking weird.
So I realized they established that tension between the two groups of kids.
Yeah.
But then you realize the jocks also are in the best band in the town or the school.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that break the whole thing that you know, sports? Because the teacher was like, yeah, they just built a stadium and they're in the basement and there's leaking pipes and all this stuff. So what do you make of that? Like, why'd they choose to go back on that?
I have no idea. It makes no sense.
Do you think it was just because they had the villains? They had to have the villains. Be jocks and in a band.
Yeah, they needed to fight against something, and so why not have it be a band? You know, they need a rival band.
I guess
it couldn't just be like them struggling to be artists like every other story of a musician.
So when Mudslide Crush, Mudvayne. When there's that first, like the first time you see them playing, they're in a warehouse. Is that a practice or is that a show? Because I thought that was the competition initially, because they just established there was the Halloween bash and then there was a talent show. Yeah. And the first time you see these guys, they're performing in what looks like some kind of studio warehouse. Yeah. With a bunch of kids and fans and there's like a stage.
I have a note about that too, because I don't understand what that is, because it's literally like this huge warehouse and then they just have pickup trucks and that's where they perform. Like they perform on the backs of pickup trucks and they only play one song. And he's like here you go everyone, and then they play their song and then once they're done they're like, thanks everyone, have a good night. It's like you only played one song.
They only have one song, right?
They have 2 songs.
Okay, because there's the one that sounds like Red Hot Chili Peppers and the other one that's like I have your girl, I have your car. Yeah. There's 2 ones. All right. Yeah. It was bizarre. I thought they were kind of implying that they're so good they don't need to practice. They're so good their practice is performing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was just strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just strange.
My other thing, so one of the things that I noticed while watching this movie for the billionth time is so in the beginning in my opinion, like I know it's told from the perspective of Olivia, like the entire thing is narrated by her and the entire time like it's her story and she's the loner, she's the outcast, she's the one in the fucking janitor's closet reading Emily Dickinson by herself, which is also a thing because Emily Dickinson wrote about being alone and was alone. But Stella is really like the main character. Like she's the one that actually gets stuff done.
And she's arguably the worst character.
Disagreed. She might be my favorite character. She is my favorite
Explain
character.
yourself.
What?
Explain yourself.
Okay, so My favorite. So when I was also thinking about this movie, because I haven't had Netflix for like a year, and so I was like trying to remember this movie without having to see it. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to see this movie. It's for free on Netflix, people. You can watch it. It's free. You have to have Netflix, but like you can watch it on Netflix. And so before I watched it, I was going through everyone's stories because like Olivia. Okay, we'll get to that last, but like so you have. Charlie's living in the shadow with his brother, and he's having a lot of difficulties with the fact that his brother is like this amazing soccer player, and he's just
Ivy
like,
League
am
school,
I gonna
like
Ivy League school, kid's killing it. You have Wen is dealing with the fact that his dad is gonna get remarried, and it's weird that you have this woman coming into your life. Been there, champ.
Did his mom leave them, or was it a divorce situation and they
don't explain that.
Okay.
They're just like new girlfriend. She's young and sexy. And then you have Mo, who is dealing with the fact that her family is very strict. Okay. And she's coming from like a traditional Indian background, and she's not supposed to date boys, and she dresses sexily in secret.
Yeah, denim dress. Very
and so this was the thing is that like so Stella, I was thinking about it and I was like, all Stella is just like she's a musician and like she's like trying to rebel, like she's your standard teenager. And I was thinking about it and I was like, her mom's white and both of her siblings are young blonde white boys.
Well, she obviously got her father's genes.
Well, and so that was the thing is that I couldn't remember what ethnicity her dad was because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was like, "Is her story that she's secretly adopted
That's
and
what
she
I thought
doesn't know?"
Yeah.
And so like I kept thinking about that, and I was like, "Is the dad is the dad also a white guy?" And she's just dealing with the fact that they've never told her that she's adopted. But then I watched the movie and I was like, "Okay, like he's also
Dude,
Asian."
how funny would that be?
But at the same time, I was still like, is it a thing that you can look absolutely nothing like your siblings? Because she looks nothing like her siblings. No. Like nothing like them. Like they didn't even try.
No.
Like at all. And then my personal favorite thing in the entire world is Olivia's background. Okay. Which I brought the reveal of it. I wrote this out. All right.
Okay. Hey, it's nice out here.
Yeah, sometimes I like to look up and see what shapes I can find. In the clouds.
It's a giant old lady with a skirt and umbrella.
See there? There's a flower in a vase.
Oh, I see a hand.
No, you're way off. It's a alien pushing a baby carriage.
All I see is a blob. Sometimes I think I'm too stupid to be in my family. Like I'm just some big letdown. No wonder my mom ignores me.
I wish my dad would ignore me. I'm never gonna live up to this idea he has of the perfect Indian daughter,
Hey, try living up to a perfect brother.
I'd take a perfect brother any day over my dad's ridiculous girlfriend.
My dad's in prison. Ugh. I'm too humiliated to talk about him or about him, and he writes, but I don't write back because I don't want to say, he's made some really bad decisions. My mom died. I still love him, but he's a stranger now, which is why I'm so glad to have this, our friendship.
Yeah, okay. And then they break into song.
That's with the acoustic guitar, right?
That's the acoustic guitar.
So Olivia's mom is dead.
Yeah.
Is she dead because her father killed the mother? Like,
what?
So why is the father in prison?
Because he made bad decisions after his wife died. She says that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she says, my dad's in prison. He made a lot of bad decisions since my mom died.
So, and you're assuming this happened a long time ago. Or, like, it's not recent.
She's not...
Because she says her...
Old.
But she's... it could have happened a couple years ago.
Yeah, it could have happened when she was like 7.
I'm assuming this because the cat, which is the only thing left from that time in her life, is very old.
I wrote that scene out too, just because of the fact that like my personal favorite part is that like it's this touching scene where like she's just like talking about how sad she is that the cat's dying. It's this last remnant that she has of her mother, and then Wen just goes, "You want to hear a rap?"
Well, it wasn't. They were they were just talking, and she sees a cat that lives with her and her grandmother.
Yeah.
And just the sight of the cat makes her cry.
Yeah.
So, like, every day, is she just sobbing?
I hadn't even thought of.
Well, so maybe it is recent if she's still crying like that. I mean, I don't know. It would just seem like... And then this whole exchange that you made me read is like... Like, what the fuck was that? Because she literally... Because everyone else gets a nice little intro.
Yeah.
And she gets this bullshit thing, and then she has to... In that one line, she says everything that's wrong with her life.
Yeah, and that's my personal favorite part about this movie is that, like, you know... They want to be the Breakfast Club, and they want to have all these Breakfast Club scenes, and so they're like they're going through, like, the Breakfast Club, like, legitimately showed all the different aspects to being in those different social lifestyles. It's like, this is what it's like with the pressures of being a jock, this is what it's like being this, but this is like, these are all the weird nerdy kids, and they all got together, and it's like each one of them has these problems, but then if you go through all of them, all their problems are fucking nothing in comparison to Olivia.
And the way
whose fucking dad is in prison, her mom is dead, and she's being raised by her grandmother.
It's almost too much. Like, they should have, like, it's almost too dark when compared to the other kids.
Yeah.
Because the other kids look like idiots. I mean, when?
Yeah.
When
is the best?
He's so mopey the whole movie, and at one point he goes home after practice, and his dad's like, why don't you take a ride on your horse?
Yeah, on your horse.
Yeah, and I thought they were just at a horse stable somewhere.
No, that's his house.
That's their house.
Yeah.
That plantation. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's a whole estate, and they have horses, and they're rich.
Yeah. They have so much money.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And then Olivia is living with that old dying cat and her old dying grandmother. And she's constantly crying.
And she's constantly crying.
So when's the biggest dick in the movie?
That's my favorite thing in the entire world about this movie is that you have all these people that are like you don't know what it's like to be fucking dumb, and it's just like plenty of people do. It's fine. This girl is living with legitimate trauma.
Yeah.
and here you all are complaining. It's my favorite thing ever.
And okay, so that was one of my notes when you mentioned rap was just rap.
Yeah.
I wrote that down because I was not expecting. I was expecting it out of Mudslide, but not Lemonade Mouth.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, my favorite thing about the movie is that, like, they'll have, like, kind of like melodic themes, and then they'll, like, reprise them later on. So, like, the one scene, I mean, we could just talk in general about, like, how they write songs, because they just play them. Like, the first time they play the song is them inventing the song. And so, like, you know, the very first song in the movie is just like the guy's like playing on the table.
Okay, well let's break that down a little more.
On the thing, and then the girl's like, "Let me pick up a bass."
Okay, so all these instruments have been sitting in this basement for how long? And they pick them up and they're perfectly tuned. The upright bass is magically a electric regular bass. There's like insane. There's like harmonies, like there's only one person. Like there's lots of things that are going on. The only accurate thing was the drumming. I mean, the drums weren't mic'd and they sounded mic'd, but I mean, it's fine. I can get over it with this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bigger flaws of the movie, I would say, but
disagree.
Those scenes work for me.
Okay.
But they're a little cringy. I don't mind when they're in song, but the build up to the song is always cringy.
The music's awesome. You have to admit.
The music is really good.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff that I could hear now on the radio. It'd be like, okay, it's fine.
Like it's legitimate pop rock. And that's like I love the movie Josie and the Pussycats. And so, like, of course I love this movie because it's basically just another Josie and the Pussycats. Like, I'm not gonna hate a movie that's basically a thing I already love, you know?
I understand.
Now, once again, them just writing songs on the spot and harmonizing perfectly is amazing.
Yeah.
I have no problems with that.
I think it works. I think,
Yeah.
I think it's fine. And but they do. Isn't there another scene later on where they try to write a song that's where the scene takes place, right? They're trying to.
And so that's
He's like, I'm working on these raps. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
so, but that's what I'm talking about. So you have like the one sequence where they're in practice and they're jamming away, and Stella's like, she's like, it's a simple 4/4 beat, Charlie, like you can do it.
That's okay.
And the thing that I enjoy about that is that then when they're all of a sudden like, maybe we should just give up on music, this one practice isn't working out.
Can we take it back like
Sure.
a minute?
Okay.
Though she says it's a simple 4/4 beat, and then she starts to say the chord she's playing to Charlie, like that fucking matters. That doesn't matter at all for him.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I just thought that was just like a really stupid thing that they put in the movie. But,
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah.
It's simple, just this and this. And... Charlie's like, what are you talking about?
Maybe she was talking to Mo about the changes.
I don't think so. She's looking.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, and so the thing that I enjoy is that guitar lick that she plays ends up making its way into the song that they end up making up on the spot, and it's the same thing with like
that, like the one she just played.
Yeah, the riff that she plays ends up in the song later. That's pretty cool. Nice. Now the same thing with like the rap that he does to Terminate. When he's like, I'm sorry, your cat's dead. Check out this rap that I wrote. When he performs that rap for her, when they played their big show in front of everyone, which has so much auto-tune on the vocals that it's not possible. But when they do that, the rap that he does, it's derived from the rap that he does in front of her, and I think that's a real cool thing.
That is pretty cool.
Now, at Dante's Pizzeria, where they become a staple of the performing arts scene, Mo does a song which is inspired by the fact that she caught her boyfriend in the locker room getting touched by a lady. She was touching his biceps, which is... who knows what that means? It's ridiculous. Yeah. But so the song that she does is it's called She's So Gone, which is just about how, the girl that you thought you knew is gone, and this is me now, and I'm just doing great. She dances so sexually in that section that it's mind-blowing. Okay.
Is she wearing her denim dress?
She's not wearing her denim dress, but like she gets on top of the tables and she's like rolling around. And the two things that I could think were, one, she's the new pink Power Ranger. Okay. So next week, look forward to her killing it.
Kimberly?
She is Kimberly now. Her name is actually Mo in Power Rangers as well. I
was at the movie theater the other day and I saw the Power Ranger posters. It'd be funny if it was the Pink Ranger and just Mo.
But yeah, like it's so sexual, and it's also like she's like grinding on these tables, and then she gets up on the counter and the two guys are like making pizza and they're like, yeah, this is hot, like good, yeah, teenage girl, keep doing it.
Oh my god.
No one in that restaurant is eating pizza at the time, otherwise she couldn't roll around on those tables. It doesn't make any sense. Another thing that I noticed that makes no sense. So when Stella first shows up and she's being introduced to Principal Brannigan, okay, who is played by Shooter McGavin, all right, greatest actor in the world. Now, when she's in the room and she's talking to him, she has a shirt that says "Question Authority."
Yeah.
Now, I paid attention for the first time ever. The shirt says "Question" and has a question mark followed by it. Question Authority.
She also wears shirts throughout the movie that kind of they echo like a previous scene that she was talking about the topic.
Yeah.
So I think one's like a vegan shirt and she has a Save the Whale shirt.
Yeah.
That's why I hate her.
So she is now writing amazing pop music. I highly suggest checking out Hayley Kiyoko.
The actress?
She has a song called Gravel to Tempo, which is excellent. She also had another song called Girls Like Girls, which I think it has 83 million views on YouTube right now. And it's actually like a very strong message just about how we should not be bashing people that are, LGBT, because that's what the music video is about. And
that's a
she
great
also,
message.
I think she considers herself bisexual. I think she.
What's her
she
name? I
says that.
kind of want to look it up right now.
Hayley. Kyoko. I nailed it. I did great. But all of her music is awesome, and I listen to it also regularly because I am a slave to this film. She was also in Insidious 3. She was the friend. She killed it in that.
She looks a lot different now.
I've paid attention to her career a whole bunch. Because once again, she's my favorite, and it makes me mad that you don't like her.
I just think she's like a poser the whole movie.
Okay.
I don't know. She's like always. It seems like she went to like a Hot Topic and just bought all these shirts. Now she's acting like she's a rebel because it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But then you slowly realize she is a rebel towards the end of the movie, kinda, because I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but at the talent show she stands, or the Halloween bash, she stands up to the principal.
Yeah.
So she is a rebel. She evolves into a rebel.
So that's my problem with the movie. Because I thought about this. I'm not going to do it in the long essay form that I had written down like a year ago. But the movie is basically about how the school has stopped wanting to fund the arts and everything that isn't sports. Okay?
Yes. And lemonade.
And the lemonade, because that's a competing brand
to the
product. Power Blast or whatever. And the end result of the movie is that the school becomes endorsed by Mel's Lemonade. And so the thing is that if you think about it, like, the end result of that movie, like, if you wrote a Lemonade Mouth 2 that wasn't just about, like, that wasn't about just, like, Lemonade Mouth, like, going off and, like, touring and, like, being a musician's cool. If you wrote a sequel that took place in that school, it would be about how shitty it is to be a jock now, and how basically, like,
it'd be flipped.
It'd be completely flipped over. And so it'd be about jocks that are like, man, like, I want to play lacrosse, but this school only funds artists.
And then everyone in Lemonade Mouth would be like the top jocks in the school too.
Exactly.
Which doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
The Lemonade Mel's Lemonade didn't take over the school, did they? They just paid for the gymnasium. Or the stage.
So they meet
auditorium.
Haley, her name's not Haley. Stella, Haley's character, meets Mel at Wen's father's wedding, which is weird that Stella was invited before. Whatever. Anyway,
it's weird that any of them are there.
And it is weird that any of them were there. Hey, Dad, can I invite a whole bunch of friends?
Well, I mean, they are loaded. Apparently, they're loaded, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
But so she meets the owner.
So she meets the owner of Mel's Lemonade, and she's like, "I have an idea for you." Which the two things that I thought of were one, that obviously she's going to be endorsed by Mel's Lemonade, and then Mel's Lemonade does pay for this huge wing of the school and this huge concert hall. Okay, which obviously, and that's what I'm getting at. Obviously, if you're paying for this huge wing at a concert hall, you're gonna be like, we'll keep my lemonade machine in the fucking school still.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And so then that will be a breach of contract for Power Blast. And Power Blast will be like, well, if you're not going to remove these lemonade machines, then we're going to cut your funding.
Oh, so maybe maybe.
You know?
Well, they still have the stadium.
And then my other thing is, I was like, is Mel trying to have sex with Stella? Because, like, the looks they give to each other are super strange.
It was a weird scene. I thought at first he was hitting on her.
Yeah.
What else is he in? That guy.
That guy? Oh,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
He looks very familiar, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a creeper, though.
Yeah. He was a super weird looking guy.
Like,
I feel bad talking about a person that way, but it's fine.
Nah, it's fine.
And so the other thing that I was thinking about is my favorite song in the soundtrack, which Wen has that beautiful rap in, is Determinate, okay? And if we think of the word determinate, which is actually pronounced determinate, But if we think of that word, you know, it's
How does he describe it? Because he was like, it's like determined. Like he didn't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
And they just went along with it.
Yeah, and they just go along with it.
Yeah.
But if you think about that word as your chorus, as like your main thesis, and then you think about all the things that they're saying, it's kind of like an absurdist philosophy where it's like life is shitty and it's just like an eternal reoccurrence. But like let's throw all of that in the world's face and just laugh at it, and let's enjoy it and embrace it and turn the world into a dance floor, because of the fact that it's like who cares that we're gonna work the same 9 to 5 until we die, you know? That's what I got from that song. I 5 billionth time that I've listened to it.
I couldn't get over it. That was my least favorite song in the movie.
That's your least favorite? What's your favorite one?
I honestly like the mudslide.
Mudslide.
The first mudslide song. Yeah, but then it goes into the slap bass.
I'm a superstar and I got a cool car.
That sounds like Chili Peppers. Can't stop.
What's the second one? The second one has a bunch of contradictions in it because he's like, my girl is hotter than your girl.
My car's faster than your car.
It.
Yeah. It's all about his car and his girl.
And then, yeah, what a great band.
I don't know. I mean, his name's Isaac Cappy.
What's he been up to?
He's been, holy shit. He was the pet store clerk in the first Thor movie.
Okay. Good role.
He was in Beer Fest.
Oh, okay.
As Hustler. I don't know if you know that movie. He was in Terminator Salvation.
Picking good roles.
He's in tons of great movies. But yeah, I've probably seen him in like Thor or something.
Nice.
Clown Camp Massacre.
But I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, what else is there to even talk about with this movie?
What else? We covered most of the points that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Mudslide Crush was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, they're great. All right, so some of the notes that I'm enjoying are, how did Stella get their phone numbers? Because she texts everyone and she's just like fate or destiny or something. That doesn't make sense.
No,
same thing. She's like mistake or destiny or something, whatever. And I was just like, how did she get their phone numbers? When Mo is on the dinner tables dancing sexually, she sings into the napkin dispenser. Oh man. Yeah, I mean those are my main things. You know, the end of the movie. The end of the movie, they get arrested. And
there's another awkward music scene in the jail.
In the jail, and my personal favorite part is because, like, as I was watching it, I was just like, getting arrested, like father, like daughter. Like the grandmother must have been so disappointed. Like I know
she
that
says
she was
something like that. Not like that, but she was like, I forget what she says. But you would think there'd be a bigger.
Like, I'm real proud of you, you idiot.
I think there'd be like a bigger moment when she's in jail. She's like, she starts crying, like, I'm just like my father or something. But we don't get any of that.
No.
She's the happiest in jail.
It's like a second home to her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else. The only other thing that I had was just like every single character has like a super harsh like expositional introduction where it's like Mo, are you wearing lipstick? Get out of the fucking car. And then like
Charlie,
like,
who's both of his parents drop him off at school, which I thought was really weird.
Agreed.
That never happens, right? I mean,
yeah, that never happens.
Why would both parents be driving their kid to school unless they share a car? Whatever. They're not poor because his house is amazing.
Yeah, his house is amazing.
Oh my god.
But for Charlie's introduction, my favorite thing is that it's like, I get it. He likes to drum. He has drumsticks everywhere. Because there's the one shot where it's a fisheye lens, and he's just fucking wailing on the car seats. And the parents like turn around and they're like, now Charlie, make sure to take this soccer ball. And it's like, you're not going to talk about the fact that he's being an a-hole and he's playing drums on literally everything.
He has drumsticks the whole movie.
He has drumsticks the whole movie.
How do his parents...
He's in the cafeteria spinning the drumsticks. He's in detention spinning the drumsticks.
His parents have no idea what his passion in his life.
No idea.
They think it's soccer still.
Yeah.
They even give him a soccer ball on his first day of school.
Yeah, which was his brother's soccer
soccer ball.
The famous one. Who's not doing well in Stanford.
One thing I do want to talk about is the scene where you see him play soccer. Because the fact that he ever gets to the point where he's able to play with other soccer players at that school is amazing.
Yeah.
He trips immediately.
Yeah.
Like someone passes him the ball and he trips and falls on his face. And I think he trips again. Or no, he tries to hit it and he falls on his ass.
Yeah. I also love like someone picks on him and he throws the soccer ball and it hits the coach and the coach gives like one of those like kind of
and
looks.
Then the dude from What's Like Crush is like, you see that, coach?
Yeah.
And he goes up behind him and starts rubbing his shoulders. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what kind of relationship do those two people have?
The best kind. But yeah, I mean that's all right. Yeah, wrap up on that movie.
I guess we're gonna wrap up.
I give it 5 stars out of 5.
I really wish we had.
I think it's the perfect movie.
You wrote the lyrics to the rap for Determinate.
I wrote out the scene where, you know, like the cat is dying, and then he tries to change the subject, and you know he tries to change the subject, and then all right, here's the scene. So she goes, she's met a ton of my friends, like tons and tons friends. Wen says, right, of course, you want to hear a rap? And Olivia says, oh yes. And he goes, yeah, alright, okay. It's Wen and I'm musically inclined. Get a shiver down your spine every time I rhyme. I'm a lemonade mouth. We don't learn to wait. We get on stage and determinate.
And then she's like, what does that even mean?
And then she was like, I don't think you understand words.
Is that before she starts crying?
That's afterwards, which is why I love it so much. Because literally, like, she's in tears, and he's like, hey, yo, I'm a rhyme for you.
He's the worst.
Yeah, he's kind of the worst.
He's my least favorite character.
You said Stella, and I'm
glad
you're right. You've changed.
You're right. Well, I just realized that Stella does kind of become a real rebel.
Yeah.
So she's not so much of a poser after that.
It's a perfect movie.
But Wen is just, I mean, come on. He's like complaining about his family to the girl who's like, her mom's dead, her dad's in prison. Yeah. She has no friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this was a good movie.
So 5-star movie.
It's 5 stars.
And join us next week for Fred the movie. Which I'm very sad that you picked.
John Cena's in it.
John, we'll talk about that when it happens. All right.